Hello, everybody. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the July 18th, 2022 CalPADS office hours. My name is Paul Higgins. I'm a data analyst at CSIS supporting CalPADS. Other than that, let's get into announcements. The Flash 228 came out this morning, and it's a seems to be a comprehensive discussion of TK moving forward into the future. So it starts out with the background of what it is and what we're expecting in the next 4 academic years, moving into the future as to who is available for TK, who's offering it, that kind of thing. Then we go on to discuss credentialing and staff requirements, and just it's a very comprehensive discussion of what you need to know about TK moving forward. We're actually trying to get ahead of this as best we can, so that way everybody is in the know from the get-go. Let's see, the CDD, the Certification Data Discrepancies, CDDs, that training has occurred. And we have posted a link, and I can put it into the chat box, I think. They were posted to our YouTube page, I believe, on Friday. So they are available to view, so please take advantage of those. The trainers expedited them to try and help everyone out. As soon as we got them available, we posted them. So they're there for you to use. Angela, would you like to give us our bug overview for today?
Sure. Yeah, so we do have a release going in tomorrow, and let me grab that for you and see if we can get a preview of what's coming in. So this is what I found. It looks like it's scheduled to be released tomorrow. We will have to schedule revisions for everybody, which can take upwards of 24 hours. So you won't, I think they've been shooting around a noon time that they're releasing, so you won't necessarily see all these fixes tomorrow. It could be Wednesday before you see them. One highlighted there in yellow was the reason we were down this weekend, and so that got fixed. And if you had 21, 22 status records that you got in inadvertently that you didn't want to report for this school year, upload your current status file, the correct one, and that should wipe out. It should do a full replacement now on any status records that you're trying to get rid of. And I believe that's all I have to report.
Perfect. I think Q1 is going to be directed kind of at you too, from Nancy Baum. She asks, do we know when the Q or the approve button will be activated? And I'm thinking that it will be sometime after the CDDs are addressed and we're down to a point where they are all working as expected.
Correct.
But I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know that I have an ETA on that either. What's not included on my list is there's just a lot of bugs in the background that aren't on our known issues, except on that chart at the bottom. That are also getting worked on. So there's more than what's on here. So there are some bug fixes coming on the high DD counts as well. And I don't have a handle on which ones, I'm sorry. But in terms of getting the certify button available, I would think another week or two at minimum.
Okay. And Shelley, I wasn't ignoring you. I just saw the very pertinent question that Angela could answer while she was still unmuted. So I chose to jump ahead. Shelley asks at 302, Q1, is the CRSC 0468 fixed? It is on the fixed list, but I thought I heard last week that there were still issues, and I don't want to mess with trying to fix errors that aren't really errors. Been there, done that.
Oh, I'm going to hand it back to Alex. I believe she's the driver today.
Yeah, that was implemented on the 28th. So as far as I know, everything's going good. Let me really quickly check the queue and see if there's anything being reported. 2468. All right. Results are not a lot of new CRSC 0468s. The ones that came in last week are all addressed. So I think that you'd be safe to go ahead and work on those. Rebecca, 306, any chance the approve button could be activated for EOI 2? It seems like there are not a lot of bugs there, maybe.
Yeah, and there are some, maybe you're getting lucky, Rebecca, but I know a lot of folks have thousands of SPRG 70s on historical records. Your data was probably squeaky clean, so it didn't apply to you. And 77 is the other one that we're seeing tons of. So that's going to prevent a lot of LEAs from being able to approve, even if the button was available.
And with that, we're at the bottom of the list. No, just kidding. One more. Tanya, 307. Any idea when PN 6172 will be fixed? Since it's only a medium status, I'm guessing it's on the back burner. 6172, online maintenance error when adding new staff demographic record. Yeah, that's still in the developer's hands. And
it's also a workaround for that. Submit the SDEM file via batch.
And there's that. Mary Masters, it appears the CRSC is skipping subsequent records of any line item within the same file that has identical operational keys with the exception of marking period, which is one of the keys. Was this fixed over the weekend?
It was not. In fact, I just logged that a few minutes ago. Alex, if you got the known issues up, it should be like the most recent one. And as of the 3 o'clock release of known issues, and I have some good news there. Do you have the 3 o'clock? No, you're 17. You need a refresh. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Full year classes aren't displaying. So we found that too. Actually, Doug at Hanford did the research on that for me. So thank you, Doug, if you're on. And the good news is I found that the data is posting. It is displaying. It's just not displaying in online maintenance. If it's a full year course and the marking periods are like semester 1 and semester 2, only one semester is showing up on the screen. So it's not like you're going to have to resend that data once that gets fixed. It'll just start appearing in online maintenance as it should. Good catch, Mary.
Nathan at 308, Q1. We are close to transferring over our matriculated SPED students. Will this affect certifications? I think that's going to be based on what data is in the system right now and how it looks. Because once you roll your system over, my understanding of it is you're creating the next year database. So when you send up SPED data, it'll be using dates that are in the future from now and the 22-23 academic year identifier. So making any historic corrections becomes more difficult for you. So I don't have a great answer for you right now because I haven't looked at your data for Castaic. But if you want to put in a certification or a request, and I will, a service desk request. Wow, can't talk today. With my name on it, I'll be happy to look at that and kind of opine for you. Mary Masters Q2, Doug Hawkins sends you a happy face, Angela. Mary Masters Q2 reads, are revisions dated 7/16 good to use? Were they after the fixes this weekend? They finished up on Saturday at what time, Angela? Do you know?
Which ones?
Any of the build this weekend and the cleanup that they were doing?
Oh, the cleanup was back end only, and just to allow future SAS files to come in, so it didn't impact revisions. So Friday, let's see, was the 15th, right?
Saturday was the 16th, and I know that because it was my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kelly. Yeah, they should be fine. I don't think they touched anything revision related.
All right, not a very chatty group today. And I don't have a singing voice, so don't even ask.
And Brandy's not on.
Maybe Joe will sing for us. That'll force y'all to ask some questions.
He'll recite a few flashes.
I was going to say we could do like a rapid fire quiz for him. You have him have him ask or give us the flash number that topic was related.
Maybe we could have
Alex is pretty good at that too.
That's what I was going to say. Was we should put Alex and Joe head to head, like a Family Feud type thing. Let's see. Sherry's laughing at us right now. Vonda's getting mentally ready for the Comic-Con. Right on. Do you have any vaccine tickets or anything, or are you just going to the con? Oh, Shelley says it's because we're all melting.
True that. I don't have air conditioning. I'm just sweltering here.
Angela Perkins wants a CalPADS trivia hour.
I like it.
And Kim Gavin's going to bring us all back to work. Okay, since we want to roll up our SPED students, i.e. get them assigned to the new schools, new service providers, we want to check on our data before we move forward. Are the EOY 4 reports accurate? Did we have any issues with the
16.3?
Yeah, Gary just logged one last week.
Yeah, 6246, end of year 4 report, snapshot and SELPA 16.3, pulling pending records for students that exited in prior years. So there is still some issues with the reporting out of EOY 4, but good news is it's nominal. Let's
And
see.
Kim, the other thing you should be aware of is that the monitoring reports have a lot of outstanding defects on them, and we have not prioritized getting to those just because we want to make sure data can get in and cert errors aren't running. So I know you support several LEAs, right? So just something to be aware of. 16.8 has several bugs.
All right, Lou brings up a very good point that I think will resonate. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm waiting for certain known issues to clear before I can move forward. So yeah, you've done everything you can until you've been roadblocked by the known issue, and now you wait for it to clear and move forward again. I gotcha. And unfortunately, it's kind of that stepped progression this year. So you're right on par with the rest of us, I think. Melissa 313, our district changed the name of one of our schools effective 7/1. I noticed that CalPADS changed the school name in the enrollment record from the previous year. Is this correct? Not sure why I was expecting the new name only for the enrollment records after July 1st. No, that is expected behavior because the SENR tables are set up in such a way that once you change the identity information, it retroactively changes it as well. And that was by design, and I don't remember the rationale, but I remember that it was working as expected. And Vonda will be going to the Comic-Con, but apparently not being part of the Comic-Con. Angelina 313, did you mention if we are still correcting only the errors from the last week's list? Logged in late.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. The CDDs anyway, your cert errors, the regular traditional cert errors are fine for the most part.
Chris Arnold, Q1, any status update for SSID matching process?
Nothing since last week. I think if you were here last week, I believe Randy said they're targeting the end of July for that rollout.
Okay. Angela agrees with Lou that she is also kind of at the point of being stymied by the known issue list. Catherine at 313 Q1. Today I ran the SPRG ODS extract, and once I uploaded it and put it through Aries, it would not download. There were changes that Aries needs to catch up to over the weekend.
We didn't make any changes to that extract that I'm aware of anyway. I wonder if any other Aries users are having issues with ODS extracts.
I'll go ahead and put it in chat if you are. Mary, I see your Q3. Lonnie.
Wait, go back to the SPRG ODS. There is a bug, and maybe it's the academic year thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that one is dependent on how you request it, right? If you request it by academic year, it's fine. But if you, I believe that's right, if you use the date range, it's when it puts in this year's academic year for all records. And I'm not sure how that would impact Aries,
yeah,
if at all.
All right. Sorry, Larney at 314. Excuse me. Since summer school enrollment is not required to be submitted, we have a SPED student who started with our LEA starting this summer on July 5th. Should we send his enrollment up? He is also continuing with us for next year for 22-23. Would his regular school year enrollment in CalPADS be enough? This means he will have an enrollment start date of 8/17. Is this going to be an issue? I would think you would be able to use the 7/5 date if he's actually enrolled and attending school. You could use the 7/5 date because it would be accurately reflecting when he started, and it's in the 22-23 academic year. So it would be a 22-23 enrollment.
But doesn't ADA come into play? Maybe that's why he's asking the question. So Joe, is this like or Larney, is it like a pre-enrollment? Because don't you have to have the SENR so that you can put in when you held the meeting? And then school starts later.
So we have that, thank you, Alex. I guess you're driving the extended school year. These are extended school year scenarios where, obviously they're trying to, submit an IEP meeting or some extended school year meeting here. So on your screen right here would actually provide you some guidance. I think part of the guidance is like what you said, Martha. They may actually be able to actually, excuse themselves with the GER 5. However, they're going to get a Cert 143. So ensure that you have a subsequent enrollment, right, Alex, on the next academic. The subsequent academic year, making sure that since they're returning, so they shouldn't be posing a problem for that specific scenario.
Right. The GER 5 won't trigger because it's during a summer month. So it should be okay if you submit a SPED record without the enrollment overlapping.
Correct.
And in the guidance here, it says that if there are no meetings over the summer, then there's no need for you to submit the summer enrollment record.
Now, in the event that the student actually did start on 7/5 and is in attendance at a school in that district, would they do a 7/5 enrollment and then account for it in the status record at the end, giving them the extra, whatever that is, 36 days from 7/5 to 8/17?
If the student, you mean like if it's a year-round school and they did start school on 7/5?
Yes.
Yeah, then it would be just like a regular enrollment, right?
Yeah, because when I was reading it, I read it two ways. The way we answered it, and then the possibility of the student actually did start. So I wasn't sure which way it was geared. So long as we provided both answers, I think we're good.
And to kind of put some emphasis there, Paul, to what Alex mentioned, if you look at the paragraph right underneath the Cert 143 there, if a student has no meetings right on those ESY, then they don't need to submit a record, obviously, for that matter. So it becomes like the next academic year kind of which is coinciding with our CalPADS Flash 207, right, for students that are probably you're preparing for the next academic year, or they're about to enroll in the next academic year. So CalPADS Flash 207 would actually provide you further guidance. There's, I guess, two options, I believe, for that. Whether you could submit it, or you could elect to subsequently submit that transaction as an option 2 here. And Alex is showing it on your screen right now. So it gives you a lot more information there. So this may be applicable for that kind of circumstance as well.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Naomi, 314 Q1. Which students are included in the July direct cert pool? We have not exited our students for the 21-22 school year, but the July DC list is populated with a bunch of kids certified as of 7/5/2022. Is July DC looking for actively enrolled students from 21-22? Is that what's supposed to happen? And can this list be trusted? Short answer, yes, all around. That it's looking for active students or students who have been exited as E155. And then this first pull is because that E155 is saying, we expect this student to return to the same school. So they're trusting that code to use in the DC pull to actually populate your reports. So short answer is yes, you can trust that report without having exited your students because they remain active. Now, once you exit them, as you know, the list may become refined next time because they're no longer E155s. And they will either be active with you or they will be active elsewhere. And then those that are active nowhere, but were exited as E155, I think will be included on your list through August, wasn't it? I don't remember when or if they fall off if they don't have another active enrollment. I can't remember that. Nope. Additional references. Well, we can definitely direct you to all the additional reference material for the direct cert materials, but I believe that the report will be active or will be accurate if you want to use that. Iman at 314 wants Angela to speak more to some of those 16.8 issues.
Yeah, Alex, if you could navigate to the known issues. And Chris, what you want to, or is it Chris who was asking that? Yeah, Iman. Go do a Control F and just type in 16.8 and enter. And I believe there's at least 4 that I'm aware of. 6. So even though we know we're not going to be able to get to them right away, we do document things so that the users are aware of them.
We have a total of 6, you say? Yes, 6. I see them up there. $6. All right, they're on the known issues list, and if you want to be linked to any one of them, please let us know. Chris Turcott, 315, Q1. Are the issues in Flash 277 listed as the CDDs that LEAs can work on, the only issues that we can work on as of now? Yeah, but you also need to cross-reference the current known issues list because that list of workable CDDs will have shifted to include any known issues that we added to the known issues and any anything that got fixed. So while yes, that's the intention of that list, it is going to change over time. It's not all going to go away all in one build. It's going to go away in pieces and parts. So you're going to have to kind of use the current known issues list to parse that one out.
Paul, I would add
Yes, ma'am.
that when we do fix these, the ones that are broken, some of the ones that we fix will become legitimate. We're just, you know, there are some that are over triggering, but some could be legitimate for this academic year. You just can't find it. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. So just be aware when we do fix some of these that you may have to come back and work on them.
It's a good point that the legitimate errors are mixed right in with the bad ones. Suzanne at 315. Hello, I still have an open ticket that I opened on the 15th. I also asked this in a question a couple of Q&As ago, and I remember someone was going to get back to me. We have an old CSIS number that no longer matches the CALPADS system. However, we had uploaded it to CSIS and told our SIS, and our old SIS. A former high school student said she needs an SSID for her college application. My question, if CALPADS cannot match students, should I create a new SENR that matches our old CSIS data?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up again, Suzanne, because Paula Mishima is with us today. So Paula, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so Suzanne's got a kid who graduated in 2007, and we were all talking, even including Ritesh, trying to figure out was there ever a time we didn't port SSIDs over from either Datagate or upgrading CalPads? And all of us, our recollection was that we did keep everything, but this student does not exist in CalPads any longer. And so Suzanne's question is, well, now since the student is requesting her SSID for a college application, should Suzanne create a MID and assign a new SSID and then merge it so that the historical data has something to tie to it? But I guess it wouldn't even create a MID, right? Because it can't find it. So should she give her a brand new SSID? I guess is the
And you
question.
can't, if so, there's, as far as we know, there's nothing in CalPads
Yeah. So
to merge it with, right?
right, and the SSID is optional on the college application. So I mean, I'm inclined
Yeah.
to say just either give her the old one or tell her she doesn't have one. Do you have a preference, Paula? Give her the old one. Is that all right?
Well, if you say give her the old one, you mean the one that was the certs?
Yeah, that we can't find anymore. Does it matter on the college application?
Well, you know, like you said, it's not required on the college application. I just don't know what that would, if we can't find it, because all the SSIDs were converted.
That's your recollection as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only reason why she wants an SSID is to put it on the college application?
Yeah.
But does the student have more recent data?
No, she left in 2007, so it's long time ago.
It's before CalPads.
Wow. Yeah, so there's no reason for her to have an SSID if she left before CalPads even.
You know what, Angela? What I vaguely remember, we kept all of the IDs to do the cohort, the first didn't we? There was something about keeping some of the SSIDs to do the cohort. So if they graduated prior to the amount of data that we were keeping for the cohort, we didn't migrate it. Remember that?
Matt's ringing a bell, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that we wouldn't have brought over data for students who had been exited as graduating.
So I guess looking forward to Cradle to Career, it's probably not a good idea to use that old SSID, or is Cradle to Career
there's
probably
nothing, it
gonna have
doesn't
a
really
cutoff?
matter because there's no data associated with it anyway, right?
Yeah, so either, Suzanne, I guess is what we're saying, either give her the old one or just tell her it's obsolete. She graduated, before the SSIDs were more relevant.
Elise says that she logged an Aries ticket with the same issue last week. I'm not sure exactly what.
The ODS.
The ODS, okay.
Extra.
And Nancy is responding to that as well, saying, Lou was responding to Catherine too, saying the Aries documentation does recommend date range, so that may be an issue. And then Nancy Baum at 317, Angela, in a different meeting, Brandy said the SSID matching tool looks like it's delayed until the first week of August.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy.
And Larney's providing clarification at 318, saying, no, it's his summer school enrollment. So I had read it wrong and everybody answered it correctly. Fabiola saying hello to everybody. And Larney clarified again that it's his first enrollment with us. So what does that do for the GER 5 rules? Because he was not enrolled previously. Would you have to wait until the 8/17 start date to upload that SPED data?
No.
Okay.
You should be fine. You can submit your next year's enrollment, right? So I don't know if they start August 27th or whatever, you can submit
17th.
that, or the 17th. You can submit the 22-23 enrollment with the SPED meeting that was held today, and that'll be fine. It won't trigger an error for you.
Okie dokie. Fabiola, oh, you weren't just saying hello to everybody. You were actually asking a question. I apologize. Fabiola, hello, everyone. Is there an update as to when we'll be able to submit SSID batch requests?
So sounds like last week of July or first week of August, somewhere in that time range.
Okay. Leanne at 322 Q1. If a student is suspended from summer school on or after July 1st, 2022, should that get reported in the 21-22 EOI3 or the 22-23? The answer is the 22-23. Iman sends her thanks. And Suzanne, regarding the old CSIS number, thank you. I will close the open ticket. All right. And we're at the bottom of the list.
Oh, I think there was a Q3 from Mary Masters at 313. Did you?
Nope, I haven't gone back and hit those yet.
Oh, okay.
But I
think that was the
appreciate
only one.
Let's see, 330. Yep, there it is. Q3 from Mary Masters. Using reports dated after 7/16 revisions, I am missing a lot of CTE participants. Can you review the requirements to be coded as such, or is there an issue? I found some course sections that don't have the high quality CTE equals yes, but my upload has it. Also 7,000 to 8,000 state code. I think yeah.
Did you say which report?
No, just all the CTE reports.
Isn't it 319, 320 for completers?
She says participants, though.
That's the 315 then, right?
I think it's that CTEG filter.
Oh, yeah. There's a sneaky filter on there, Mary. Make sure it says yes and no. It's the CTIG. Is that how you say that? CTIG fundable. That's bitten me a couple times.
All right, good catch. Thank you. Okay, Carol, 334, Flash 228. Has this gone out to district admins, or are we expected to pass this along?
Just spread out as a flash as we normally do. I mean, the admins should be all district admins, not the CalPADS admins, but like program admins. Is that what the question is?
Yes, I think so.
The program folks are sending out information about TK all the time to their counterparts. This was really aimed at, aimed for the CalPADS folks. But, we provided some background information just to provide context for what we do collect. So no, it was not sent to any program folks, but it was reviewed and vetted by our program office, as well as our school fiscal services office and our audits team. So it was well vetted within CDE, but we didn't send it out to any program offices. If you think that's a good idea, let us know and we can ask them.
And while they're doing that, you can share it internally very easily. Just walk it over to them, make sure they have a copy, so that way they have it. And they're seeing what you're seeing, and you're all on the same page. Maybe ask them for what they're doing. Lou at 336, at Carol, I always pass along the CalPADS flashes to the appropriate parties. See, Lou and I are on the same page. And apparently the heat is just melting everyone's keyboards. We just can't type today.
You joke, but mine is physically hot. I keep hurting myself on it.
You have an air conditioner, right, Angela? It just doesn't work?
And it hasn't worked for several years, and I haven't gotten around to fixing it.
Yeah, I have all my blinds pulled, so I look like I'm living in a cave at the moment.
Me too. Sitting in the dark.
Rebecca is literally sweating.
Yeah, Fresno's usually even worse than Sacramento, right?
Oh, Alex has written a question at 337. How hot is it in Sacramento today? I attended Sac State and remember how toasty it used to get.
Yeah. From somebody in the Bay Area, Marin. It's going to hit 104, isn't it?
That's what NPR said this morning, but it doesn't feel like it's going to get that hot.
And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit farther up the hill, and we're what, 96 right now, so we're
You're
probably
right.
going to hit about 100.
Said it was going to be 98 today.
Alexa just said it's 99 in my part of Sacramento.
Angela Perkins has a high of 102. Carol Mann, 337, TK. I think this is why district admins think that we are the repository for this info when they really need to be.
Oh, because you guys get the communication.
Well, yeah, and we feel the same way at the department.
They should be sending out the info, and yet you are, huh, Paula?
No, but they are supposed. I mean, if you look on the FAQ for TK, there's a lot of information there, and they apparently are communicating all the time. I don't exactly know to who, but all I know is that you guys ask us some questions about the data and how it's used. And for example, there's always been confusion about whether the TK data we collect in CalPADS is used in any way for apportionment funding, which is not, and then confusion about how the teacher data is used. And so that's the main emphasis behind this flash is that you guys asked us to write something to clarify all those things that we always get questions about. So that's why we did, but I understand what you're saying. I think we have the same frustration here because a lot of these issues that tend to cross a lot of divisions, for whatever reason, we end up being the ones that, kind of write some of the communications. The same thing happens with free and reduced price meal applications and stuff like that. And we honestly always ask our counterparts to put a cover letter on it, send it out to their distribution list, but they don't always do that.
Understood, Paula.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll do is now that this flash went out, I'll send it to them and say, hey, if you want to post this or, send this out on your list, please do so.
All right, and Fabiola, 337, will the rejected mids be purged? And if so, when will they be?
I don't know that I can answer that one 100% accurately. I would lean towards yes, saying that they are. She's talking about when you mark a mid as different, instead of showing as diff like it did in Legacy, it shows rejected, which is not super intuitive. So I would think they would run some kind of cleanup script to come back and say these were marked as different, so you could filter them out of that list.
Okey doke. Lou's sitting at a comfy 66. Chris
Working
is
in
jealous.
Alaska.
Well, Chris said, guess Big Bear. Shelly's jealous as well. And Wendy Johnson in San Luis Obispo is sitting at a balmy 72.
Yeah.
Jealous. Kim at 338, taking this quick break to say thank you for doing this twice a week. Really great safety net for us to know we can talk to you if needed, even if we don't have a full hour of questions each time. Thanks, Kim. I agree. 338, Heather. Yeah, it's about 70 in my neck of the woods in Los Osos. And Lou's inviting us all to come visit the Central Coast. Carol, TK, I'm glad to have the info. I just don't want to be the expert. Jan's on the cooler side. Stephanie, 2,500 foot elevation mark, about 40 miles east of Sacramento, El Dorado County. It's 97. Hey, Stephanie, you and I are in the same neighborhood. Mary Masters, just reran my 314 with the CTEG as selected as all. Darn it, not solved. I'm going to have to look deeper and put in a ticket. I should have tons more participants. All right.
Martha, wasn't there a change to the participants this year too?
Well, we just separated participants from the completers, and
But we didn't
'cause-
change the criteria on participants. No,
you just
okay.
have to have one particular CTE course, either in the 7,000 or the 8,000, then you get counted.
But if you're a completer, you don't get pulled in here.
Correct.
So even if you
Okay.
were a completer last year, Alex, and you have
No.
a participant course this year, would that exclude you?
No, it shouldn't. I believe it's only if you have an SCTE this year that you don't get pulled into the report. So even
Got it.
if you had, I don't know, an extra child psychology class that wasn't part of your pathway, you still wouldn't be counted as a participant. You would just be put in the completers bucket.
Okay, good. That's helpful. So, Mary, you've got to exclude any of your completers that also are participants this year.
All right, 340, Rebecca, CalPADS is definitely the umbrella, but I always share with my counterparts here at the county. So for this flash, I send it to my CalPADS network listserv and our credential department, and we'll do the same. Sharing is caring.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, that's good. Fabiola, we appreciate being informed. If this information is only sent to superintendents, we will never see it. Eugenie at 340. Do we have a flash or communication documented for the SPED file redesign postponed to 23-24? I can't find the information.
Or was that a quarterly?
Yeah, it's my recollection as well. Marcia.
No, it was on a flash. I think it was on one of the flashes talking about the redesign. No, I think it's other. Let's see.
Wait, right there.
This
Look
one?
at 223. Yeah, potentially it says changes going forward.
Yeah.
Moved.
There you go. The 22-23 submissions. Plan 22-23.
No, but that doesn't say.
No, it doesn't.
There was one. No. I'll look for it.
Okay,
I'm
thank you,
pretty
Alex.
sure that we did.
Colleen, 342, just checking functionality. When I click combine on a mid, it should combine, right? There's not a separate save button? Now, I haven't worked with mids for about a month and a half physically by touching them, so I don't know what it looks like right now.
There should be an action button, not just a combine. Yeah, they're save or post. But I have seen that, Colleen, where the toggles are at the top, but there's no other button at the bottom. And I don't know what the root cause of that is. If you have that and the mid belongs to you, maybe put in a ticket with that SSID and we'll take a look at it.
Okay, and my list just flipped. I apologize. I'm just getting back down to the bottom. Okay, and Heather says, I think there is supposed to be a post button. I just did a mid, Shelly said, I just did a mid combine and it's the only button. Colleen does not see any other button.
So does that mean the combine didn't work?
Well, yeah, if there's no button, I have, like I said, I have seen that occasionally, and I don't know what causes that. It's like it halfway there to let you combine it, and then you can't follow through.
Wait a minute, Shelly just said it worked. So just by pressing the combine button and no other action button? Wow.
Colleen was the one that had the
But it stays ready for her.
save button.
But Shelly had said, I just did a mid and combine is the only button. But that is so weird. Maybe if we get tickets for all three of them and then combine or compare what's going on. Maybe we could have 3 points of information going on at the same time. All right. If one or all of you could put in a service desk ticket, that would be great, because that's not behaving as it should right now. Rebecca at 346, I know for sure the SPED redesign postponement was announced during the quarterly, and she provides a link to that. So at 346, if you're curious about SPED redesign, there it is. Mary Masters 347 just checked, student with 7121 course in their CalPADS course list, not a completer, otherwise not on the 315.
Curious about that one. You can put that under my name, Mary. We'll figure that one out.
348, Eugenie, Rebecca, yes, I checked that button, or I checked that, but I don't actually think states in writing it was postponed. Okay, so the quarterly doesn't necessarily have it in writing. Heather Benson, 348, maybe you are not the LEA who owns the original SSID. I just checked, and if the other LEA needs to resolve the mid, there are only only the 3 radio buttons at the top and no post button. Huh. So there it would fall back on to contacting the other LEA to see if they could do it. That would be the workaround at this point.
It seems like an awkward design. I wonder if
Yeah.
that was the intended behavior. It seems like it should be all or nothing, right? It looks like you can act on it, or it doesn't look like you can act on it.
Yeah, because if it's after whatever it is, the 15-day window, it's supposed to fall off for the original LEA, right?
For mids or CCEs?
Oh, you're right, CCEs. I was mixing up my anomalies. It's been that kind of year.
So, Heather, I think you might be onto something there, and so that will get me on the path, I think, to start chasing that one down.
Okay, so we are once again at the bottom of the list, but I think we came to a very nice denouement on that topic. We have a nice starting point on it that we can dig in with.
What was that phrase or word that you just used, Paul?
Not in French.
It's a literary term for a resolution of the story.
And what did you call it? Can you
A
pronounce it again?
Denouement.
Is that 2 words?
It's French. I don't know. I don't recall the. Oh, there it is. It's 1 word.
Denouement. And why is that in your vocabulary, man?
I'm a
Explain yourself.
Still water runs deep, Martha. Still water runs very deep.
He's an avid reader, so.
Okay, back to business. 351, Q1 from Charlene. I have a question related to mid resolution. After I combined the mids, I got verified, but the mids did not go away. Why? Did they go away the following day after the ODS or the overnight processes ran? And then, or did they never fall off? Never, but the mids are resolved. And are they identified as rejected, or were they resolved? So it's, the combined or the different, because there's that issue. And I just want to make sure we're talking about the exact same thing.
Yeah, that might be the expected behavior. I'm not.
Okay, so not
Yeah.
rejected combined, yeah.
Should that be a ticket so we can actually research?
I don't know that there are any specifications on mids, Martha. How did it work in Legacy? That's kind of what we run by.
Yeah, Carol Mann is confirming verified mid combined, but still showing up as verified.
Yeah, and I think that's the way they implemented it.
Oh, it was early on. We had that word. Oh, different versus rejected, but not verified. Huh.
352, Terry, since we cannot do O&M for staff, does the EOI SDEM extract file completely overwrite all records in CalPads or just those with modifications or add-ins to the last record in CalPads? That again. It's
that's effective date processing for SDEM.
Yeah, so unless you specify a D or an R transaction, which I don't recommend, it'll default to add, and it'll just post it into the record or into the seeds record. So it's in there.
And I do see that bug fix on the list for this release. So either this coming Tuesday or I'm sorry, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday or the following Tuesday.
Rebecca is agreeing with Eugenie that she's right. It's not in writing on slide 21. And Eugenie's glad she's not the only one who can't find it. I have the information in my notes, but I would like to have actual visual documentation. Okay. Alrighty. And apparently I'm very fancy according to Vonda. And Dominic learned the term denouement from the Tick cartoon. Spoon.
I'm not familiar with that cartoon.
Oh, that was a hilarious short-lived series.
Yeah, it had maybe 2 seasons, and God, what was his name? The guy who played Putty on Seinfeld.
Yeah, he was the Tick.
Is that
I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, I can't remember it either, but his just deadpan delivery always killed me.
And his sidekick was the Moth.
Yes. Mary Masters 355. If I uploaded a second CRSC and SCSC that contain no duplicates by way of the operational keys, will I lose the data that has already been uploaded? So let's just say for a school 000001, if that's the operational key and you upload records specifying school 1 and then whatever the other operational key is, yeah, you could technically overwrite what's there if it overlaps. But as you point out, if it doesn't overlap with any of the existing operational keys, it should leave that data alone.
And just a caution that the CRSC has a very generic operational key. It's just school, academic year, and term. So pretty easy to create some wipeouts in that scenario, Mary.
Adriana 355, a quick question regarding Sprig 70s Migrant Program 135. So we have multiple start and end dates within a 3-year period for a couple of our students. And for other students, we have only one entry in CalPads with a start and end date for a 3-year term. Does this affect our data submission in any way? I'm hoping to find the best practice for entering this data successfully.
I thought we had that in the data guide, what it said about migrant ed. And I think it just comes down to, your district and your local practices, but you need to be consistent. So either you close them out every year and open them up again, or you follow the rule of, every 3 years that you renew everybody.
Alex has it up on screen from the data guide saying these records should not be closed annually for returning students. For students exiting the school, these records may, but are not required to be closed. So it sounds like you were just matching the program end date to the enrollment end date, and then when they came back, you created a new record to match their new enrollment start date, and then ended it when they left. That's not necessary. Amy and Vonda are reminding me that it was Patrick Warburton. Thank you. Thank you for not making me go look that up later. Mary Masters, Angela, how can that generic replacement model for CRSC be functional? The CFS lists what you showed, but also the operational key as unique records with more definition, like the marking period.
Yeah, I'm just going off the documentation, Mary. What it says is that you could potentially replace everything just on those three data elements matching.
And usually it's the school that everything for that school gets wiped out, right? And then there's the term code.
Academic year and term.
Yeah, so if they had a couple full year and then a couple semester 1, semester 2, and then you just sent up a full year file, you wouldn't affect the semester 1, semester 2 records, but you'd wipe out all the full year records.
I agree with Mary, though. I did see the marking period because I was uploading some CRSC records while I was troubleshooting a problem, and I didn't wipe out any other records except for the ones that had to do with that marking period. And I'm surprised it's not here.
Mary replied, but the academic term is not the marking period. It comes from the course, not the section.
Oh, and the CRSC is the only place where we use the marking period. We don't use it in CRSE.
Oh, that's right. If you submit it in the CRSE,
There
it
it
gets
is.
ignored. Yeah.
For SCSE only. Oh, SCSE, not CRSE. Sorry.
All right. Well, we are rounding the 4 o'clock hour, so hopefully we have given you your hour's worth of answers. Maybe a few laughs here and there. Thank you for being here. I know that I always learn as much as you guys do in these things, and I appreciate you being here. If you need help before the next Q&A, which will be Wednesday, open up the service desk ticket, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Otherwise, we'll see you back here Wednesday, and have a great week.